You know in those like corny high school movies where they always have like the nerds and the preppy kids, the drama geeks, and of course the ever lovable jocks. At our school, we had a particular jock, but he wasn't like any others. He was like this plank god, we'll call him. And this guy, he did some crazy ass shit when we were in school. And today we decided, you know what, let's do a little character profile on the man we'll call the plank god. You guys know what the beep test is? You know the test where like I think it's like 60 feet apart, there's two lines and you run.
I forgot what they call it in
beeps
America,
going on.
but it's, you know.
I don't know, maybe it's called like the fitness test or whatever over there, but I think it just goes like level 1.1, beep, beep, level
You just
2,
run
beep,
back and
beep.
forth across like
Yeah.
the two lines.
That thing goes up to 20. This guy was hitting like 15, 16, like the absurd amount.
Yeah,
Right.
Mr. Like he was Mr. Mustache's like pride and joy. It was kind of sad, honestly, because he never even like called him by his real name most of the time. Like we're pretty sure he didn't know his name. And then like the one day
Probably
he was
not.
like breaking records during the beep test. He's like, ah, that's my boy right there, you know, that guy, right? And then he's like, anybody that can beat him in the beep test gets an automatic 100%. Oh wait, it wasn't him. Another teacher from another class was like, anybody that can beat that guy gets 100%. No questions asked.
But of course, no one did because they're not f***ing maniacs.
One time, right after the beep test, you know how there's the push-up plank test?
Yeah, so you would do the beep test,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you do a push-up test.
He
then
had
you
to
do a plank
he had to do the plank test before the beep test, or else he wouldn't have finished on time. And then he did the beep test separately, or else there wasn't enough time for him to do both. Because he just ran
guy-
for so long and planked for so long.
He is a very genetically gifted man, but it borders on ridiculous at times.
It's like, this guy
Like-
ran marathons for fun. No, let me tell you this, okay? When we'd be like doing our warm-ups for gym, right? Mr. Mustache would give us a choice, right? You can be like, alright guys, you can either stay in here in the nice warm gym in like the middle of winter, right? It's like, just do some push-ups or something. Or you can go outside.
In the middle of a Canadian winter.
Yeah, in a Canadian winter and go run like 4 kilometers. Just
This
take a
guy
guess.
chose to run 4
He's the
kilometers,
only
didn't
guy. No, here's the thing. Sometimes he'd just be like, today we're not doing a warm-up, and he'd still go and do a marathon.
He likes to run. That's his hobby.
Like, no, he's like, we're not doing a warm-up today, and like, I'd be like, oh, where is he, right? He's like 5 minutes late, and he comes and he's like, oh, I just ran like 10K. Like, it's been like 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's a good runner, right? But can we get back to his planking?
The reason he's called the plank god?
Okay, I don't know how long any of you guys can hold a plank. Maybe you guys can hold it for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is really impressive.
5
for a
minutes
plank.
is like, wow, that guy can plank.
Wow, that guy is fit. Take a guess.
This god.
Alright, just make a mental guess in your head of how long this man can hold a plank, because I guarantee it will be higher than what you think it is. Wasn't 5 minutes, wasn't 10 minutes, wasn't even 20 minutes.
Wasn't even
Not
half
even
an
half
hour.
an hour. 45 fucking minutes.
Every
Straight
single night.
of planking.
This one time, right? We were on a call with him. Remember, in the middle of that, like around like 9 or 10 o'clock that one night.
Yeah, because we have nothing better to do with our lives.
Yeah, other than mess with him. But it was fun. But we call him at like around 9 or 10 at night, right? And we were having a conversation with this guy. Maybe half an hour in, we noticed that he's starting to like sound a little, was it
He's just,
strained?
like a little winded almost. Like
Yeah,
he's
and we're like, yo, what's wrong, right? And he's like, oh, nothing, I've just been planking. We're like, since when? Right? And he's like, you know, a little before you guys called me. We're like, no, you weren't. And he's like, yeah, I was. We're like, what have you been doing? Planking
We're
here
like,
for the last like
We've been
45
talking
minutes.
to you for half an hour.
Yeah.
And you're fucking planking.
And he's
during
like, oh yeah, I just like put on a TV show and just plank every night. And we're just like, no, you don't. There's no way you don't.
But I think I was talking to him once,
Hmm.
a little while before the whole pandemic happened, and I was asking him about his planking, and he's like, "Oh, I don't really do that anymore. I try to do more
Bullshit.
harder versions of planks."
Harder
for a short amount of
versions?
time." No, there's many harder versions of plank. Like doing
Like,
it.
what does
with
this
only,
guy
like,
do?
one-
Does he like plank
one
on his
arm,
dick?
one
Like, what the
leg.
f is he doing? Wonder what would happen if he did stop planking.
I think his abs would just be made of like solid diamond at that point.
If he stopped planking, nah. I think
No,
there would
if
be.
he
I think a
didn't
black
stop.
hole would be created, right? And the universe would just collapse in on itself.
So like, why are they even building that large hadron collider instead?
Yeah,
Why don't they
he could just
put this
plank
kid
and then just
in
channel
middle
the
of it?
power he's generating with his abs. You think he
And,
sleeps in like his planks? Just like get that time.
He might sleep. You know how people sleepwalk, sleep eat.
This guy sleep planks.
This guy wakes up in the middle of the night, gets into a plank position.
Imagine one day he's married with his wife. He just wakes up in the middle of the night. He's just planking his sleep.
Or imagine one night, like his wife's like, "Thank God, honey, come to bed. Don't you want to satisfy me?" And he's like, "Can't. I'm planking."
Do you remember? Wait,
just
I never told you
for
about this,
2
right?
hours.
We were in the weight room that one time, and he was planking, right? He's like, "Oh, yo, could you put some weight on my back?" We're like, "Okay." So we put a weight on. He's like, "Yo, when are you gonna put it on?" We're like, "Buddy, we just put a 45 plate on your back." He's like, "Yeah, put some weight on."
45-pound plate.
Like, come on.
Oh, you know he's showing off at that point.
I know that.
Come
I mean,
on.
like, yeah, okay, we get it. But,
Like we get it, dude. You're really good at planking, and you can do it with an entire plate.
at that point, I was just gonna
one needs
drop.
to show
At that point, I was thinking maybe I should just drop one of, like these giant dumbbells.
Yo, what if you drop like one of those 80-pound dumbbells, like from like a 6-foot height? and
Like
just
climb up on
walk
top
it?
of the machine. Like, I some extra weight coming down.
And you know, he always had 3 sayings, like 3 catchphrases that he'd always use.
More like a 3-word vocabulary. In all
Yeah,
honesty.
his three signature lines, if you will. The first one was when he was like trying to express a reaction to something or trying to get someone's reaction. He'd be like, "Yo." The second one would be like when he's like surprised or shocked by something. He'd be like, "Bro."
Or if he was calling out to somebody like, bro.
Bro.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one would be what would the third one describe, Small?
I'd say more like a negative reaction to something.
He'd be like, this is my favorite one. He'd be like, "She."
Doesn't finish the whole word.
And he'd say it in that exact tone. He'd go like with the high, "She."
Yeah, a little sloping
and go
thing, like,
low.
gee.
It looked like in math, it would look like a parabola, like an upside down parabola. Go,
Or if you think of like a car driving by, like, gee.
like the car zooms by you. She.
Yeah, exactly. Or when he's like running past you and he's just like, gee. Like, what was that? It was like, oh, it's just Plank God. Yeah, that would be him. And then there was like when he combined all 3 of them into like certain phrases, like she, yo bro, or bro, yo she. It was like any combination, or sometimes like she bro. Any combination of the 3 you can think of. Yeah. He's probably said it.
Bing bing bong bing bong bing bing bong 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 bing bong bing bing bong bing